The story begins in the year 1962, a time when racial segregation between white and black people was still deeply rooted in society. During this period, we're introduced to Tony Lip, a nightclub bouncer who suddenly finds himself without a job for a few months due to renovations at his club. At Tony's home, two black workers arrive to do some repair work. Tony's wife offers them drinks in glasses, but Tony doesn't take it well. Deep down, he harbors a racial bias against black people. After the men leave, Tony throws the glasses. They drank from straight into the trash. The next day, Tony receives a phone call. He's told that Dr. Don Shirley is looking for a driver, and if Tony is interested, he should come for an interview. Tony goes to the interview and is surprised to find out that Dr. Don Shirley is a black man, wealthy, highly sophisticated, and living in a luxurious apartment above Carnegie Hall. In that era, seeing a black man this successful was shocking. For someone like Tony, Dr. Shirley tells Tony that he's a pianist, about to embark on an 8-week concert tour from the Midwest to the Deep South. He needs someone who can drive him and also handle difficult situations calmly. Tony is known for, he offers Tony $100 a week, along with lodging and meals. It's a generous offer. But when Shirley adds that his driver will also need to iron his clothes and polish his shoes, Tony gets offended. He says he'll only drive the car and nothing more. With that, he leaves. The next morning, Dr. Shirley calls Tony and agrees to his terms. Tony will only be responsible for driving. Though Tony doesn't want to work for a black man, he's in desperate need of money, so he accepts the job. When Tony arrives to pick up Dr. Shirley, Shirley's assistant hands Tony a *** booklet called The Green Book. *** The Green Book contains a list of hotels and restaurants where black people are allowed to stay and eat, as segregation laws prevent them from entering all establishments. From the very beginning, Tony refuses to carry Dr. Shirley's bags. He strictly limits himself to being just the driver. Seeing this, Shirley's servant puts the luggage in the car himself. Their journey begins, but things are tense. Tony eats and smokes in the car. Shirley politely asks him not to smoke. Tony doesn't throw the cigarette out right away, but after a few moments he flicks it out the window. They arrive at the first concert, and Shirley warns Tony that he'll need to behave properly around the high society guests inside and watch his language. Tony is known for being extremely rough around the edges. Tony replies that he'd rather stay outside. Shirley agrees, saying it might be for the best. Shirley doesn't look down on people, but he carries himself with a sense of dignity. Tony, on the other hand, has no intention of changing his uncultured ways. There's a wall between them. Concert begins, and Shirley plays the piano beautifully. Tony goes inside briefly and is stunned by Shirley's incredible talent. After the concert, Shirley finds Tony gambling with other hotel workers. He tells Tony, "If you need more money, you could have just asked me." Tony replies, "I'm not doing it just for the money." "Everyone's playing to kill time," Shirley remarks. "Others didn't have the choice to go inside. You did." On the road to the next concert, they stop at a roadside store. Tony sees a bunch of rocks displayed for sale and notices one has fallen to the ground. He picks it up and puts it in his pocket, thinking of it as a lucky charm. However, Shirley's bandmate traveling in another car sees him do it and tells Shirley. When Tony returns to the car, Shirley accuses him of stealing. Tony says, "It was on the ground. I didn't steal it," Shirley insists. "Either pay for it or put it back. It'll make you feel better." Though reluctant, Tony returns the stone under Shirley's pressure. At this point, the narrator adds a note to the viewers before the story continues. Quick request: 99% of viewers watch my videos but don't subscribe or like. Please, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Now they arrive at the second concert. Tony checks the piano and finds it filthy and worse. It's not even the brand specified in the contract. He confronts the venue manager, saying that *** Dr. Shirley only plays on a Steinway piano. ***. The manager replies rudely that they won't be replacing it.
Ow!
Tony loses his temper and slaps him. Later that evening, Shirley performs on a Steinway piano just as the contract demanded. As the journey continues, Tony's racist attitude toward Shirley begins to soften. They start having meaningful conversations and share stories about their families. At one point, they spot a KFC outlet, and Tony eagerly buys a big bucket of chicken. He encourages Shirley to eat with him in the car. Shirley hesitates. He's used to fine dining with proper utensils and table settings. Tony insists, "You have to enjoy every moment. Eat like it's your last meal." When Shirley refuses, Tony jokes that he'll throw the chicken on him. Shirley gives in, and for the first time, eats fried chicken with his hands. They laugh and bond over the experience. Shirley even mimics Tony, tossing the chicken bones out the car window. But when Tony throws a paper cup out the window, Shirley insists he pick it up, and he does. The *** ego and tension between them slowly fades. *** that night, they reach a motel listed in the Green Book. While Tony rests, someone tells him Dr. Shirley needs him urgently. He rushes to a bar and finds Shirley being harassed and physically assaulted by a group of white men. It's a whites-only bar. Shirley is clearly unwelcome. Tony confronts them, threatens them with a gun, which he doesn't actually have, and rescues Shirley. As they drive away, Shirley asks, "Did you really have a gun?" Tony replies, "Nope." The next day, while en route to another concert, their car breaks down. As they wait outside, black field workers nearby stare in shock. Seeing a white man fixing a car for a black man was unheard of in those days. Eventually, they reach their next destination, where everyone welcomes them warmly. However, later that evening, *** Shirley isn't allowed to use the indoor restroom. *** he's told to use a filthy one outside. He refuses and says he wants to return to his hotel instead, just to use a clean restroom. Tony doesn't understand this and says, "You could have just gone in the bushes." Shirley replies, "You wouldn't understand." After returning from the hotel, Shirley finishes his concert. The next morning, Tony writes a letter to his wife, whom he misses dearly. Shirley sees it and notices Tony has misspelled deer, writing it like the animal, deer. The letter is full of spelling and grammar mistakes. Shirley offers to help and dictates romantic phrases for Tony to write. When his wife receives it, she's deeply moved. Tony had never written something so heartfelt before. In the next city, Tony receives a call from the police station. Shirley has been *** arrested. When Tony arrives, he finds Shirley tied up and completely naked with another man, revealing that Shirley is gay ***. The police refuse to release him, so Tony bribes them to let Shirley go. However, Shirley is furious. He hates that Tony had to bribe them, as it goes against his principles. Let me know if you'd like the next part of the story translated to, or want it rewritten in a more cinematic or emotional style. Here's the full English translation of your entire script, while keeping every detail, emotional beat, and cinematic tone fully intact. Tony is arguing, and Shirley says, "Instead of thanking me, you're arguing with me." Tony replies that those people could have destroyed Shirley's career forever. At this point, both Tony and Shirley are upset with each other. The next morning, they arrive at the hotel for their upcoming concert. There, Tony runs into some of his old friends. When they see him working for a black man, they tell him to quit this job. They offer him a better opportunity with double the pay. But Tony refuses and says, "I'm already booked, and I've got a good job." They then ask him to meet them at the bar at 8 p.m. That night, just as Tony is about to leave, Shirley stops him. Says, "You've done your job, really. Well, why don't you become my full-time road trip manager? I'll double your pay. Just don't quit." Tony says, "I gave you my word. I'm not quitting until this concert tour is over. I'm just going out to meet my friends." As he leaves, Shirley apologizes for the night before and thanks him for everything. Their bond has now grown stronger than ever, and there's real mutual respect between them. After performing the show, they hit the road again for the next one. But it's pouring rain that night, and they end up getting lost. Suddenly, a police car pulls them over. Officers see a white man driving a black man and immediately become suspicious. One of them says, "In this sundown town, no Negro is allowed to be out at night. Get him out of the car." Tony refuses, but still, Shirley is forced out into the rain. When the officer learns Tony's full name, Tony Vallelonga, he comments on how unusual it sounds. Tony says, "I'm Italian." The officer sneers. Maybe you're half Negro. That's why you're driving for one. This racist comment enrages Tony, and he punches the officer. Both Tony and Shirley are arrested. At the station, Shirley demands his legal right to call his lawyer. The officers let him make the call. Moments later, the governor himself calls the station and orders that both of them be released immediately. Though the officer is reluctant, he complies. Later, Shirley tells Tony, "You shouldn't have hit that cop." Tony replies, "He dragged us into the rain. What else was I supposed to do?" Sure.